So this thing, if given the opportunity, at any chance, will grow in size and try to hurt people. Yeah, sounds like an SCP. What's up, Rad Fam? We are back again with some more SCP creatures to dive into. Using the comments on some previous SCP videos that we've done recently, we are going to keep looking at the creepy monsters that will fuel our nightmares forever. If you've been a Rad Fam member for a minute or have seen a previous SCP video, you know how these videos go. But if you're new here, hi, hello, my name's Kaylena. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you subscribe to join the Rad Fam today. In these videos, I like to focus on just the description of the creepy monster and try to understand what it is, what it looks like, why we should be afraid of it. But of course, the files are much larger than that, so if you are ever interested in reading them for yourselves, as always, I leave a link to the file in the video's description below. So let's get to it. Okay, yeah, this one, real fun to look at that picture in the name. The first one we are covering today is SCP-457, and it is an object class Euclid. And the name of this one is called the Burning Man, which is very fitting considering the pictures of a man made out of fire. So the description of SCP-457 appears to be a sentient being composed of flame. Okay, good. So it's just a fire monster, not someone on fire. Comforting. SCP-457's actual composition is of course unknown because it's made out of fire. How the heck are you going to do tests on that? And has proven to be invisible and undetectable by any known means, but is shaped out by the flames it produces, though often assuming a human-like form if given sufficient fuel to assume that size. SCP-457's most rudimentary form appears to be that of a single flame, comparable to size of that of a matchstick. Oh, so this thing can really change shape and size depending on, I guess, its surroundings. In this form, this SCP possesses only the simplest of directives and shows no signs of being unusual compared to any other flame beyond a penchant for suddenly flickering to burn human hands. Oh, lovely. Okay, so this is a match that is out to giving us some blisters. But then it also has the ability to jump to more flammable materials or other flames, which then assimilates into its total form. So this thing, if given the opportunity, at any chance, will grow in size and try to hurt people. Yeah, sounds like an SCP. As SCP-457 grows larger, it is able to assume more complex shapes, and its intelligence also grows with its size and fuel sources. And this again is where SCPs get really scary, because it's one thing to just be a scary monster in, looks, but it's another when they're smart. So when something's smart and evil, that's when real bad things can happen. The SCP's methods of intelligence is unknown, but upon reaching an approximate human size, the SCP almost always assumes a human-like form surrounded by and composed of flames. SCP has been absorbed to communicate through writing letters out in its own flames, charring them onto the walls or other surfaces, and more rarely through speech. Okay, so that is extremely terrifying. So this thing is sentient, and will it leave threatening messages? If it wants to burn people's hands, I assume it doesn't like people too much. I imagine this thing's not leaving the nicest of notes, you know what I'm saying? But apparently, when there are multiple of this SCP brought into one area, they don't like each other very much either. Multiple beings of SCP-457 are aggressive towards each other and will either attempt to consume or extinguish their doubles, especially if there's only a limited amount of fuel at hand. Its behavior is largely predictable, as its goals are simply to acquire larger sources of fuel and to spread. The danger from the SCP comes from its ability to increase intelligence with its size. So if it constantly wants to get bigger, and it's constantly getting smarter as it gets bigger, does it want just world domination? What would happen if it got out of hand? Oh, and apparently it has the ability to learn and mimic behaviors. But I mean, it can't really pass as human because it's made out of flame. So what good does mimicking have to do with, I don't know. This has led to it purposely damaging and sabotaging sprinkler systems, and in rare circumstances set up relatively complex traps. It has also attempted to trick or reason with personnel to be released or to have access to more fuel. Okay, wow, that's creepy. So it is just consumed by wanting to be bigger and smarter and badder and more evil. Yeah, that's scary. I mean, fire's scary already, but the idea of a paranormal fire. The next one is called SCP-513, and it is object class Euclid. Now, the name for this one is called a Cowbell, and as the picture shows, very unassuming, right? Well, you're wrong. It's an SCP. Physically, though, SCP-513 is unremarkable. It looks like a rusty, normal, typical cowbell. So I don't blame you for not thinking it's something scary, but as this world shows us, everything can be anything. and anything can be scary. No marks or engravings are visible on its surface due to the large amount of corrosion, so it just looks really old and dirty and gross. SCP-513 was recovered by Agent Redacted while carrying out containment reestablishment procedure MU at Site Redacted. SCP-513's clapper was firmly held in place by several strips of duct tape, so it did not want this thing making noises. Any noise produced by this SCP immediately induces strong anxiety in all sentient beings who hear it, regardless of their previous mental status. So this thing has a power that can control any living thing around it. Oh, that is fun. No, it's not. That is terrifying. Exposure victims report feelings of being watched by an unseen entity. Oh, goosebumps. And present elevated heart rates and blood pressure. Roughly 1 hour after exposure victims begin to capture glimpses of SCP-513-1. Oh, secondary SCPs, man. Oh, it's always scarier, you know? When opening doors, walking past mirrors, turning their heads, or performing other actions that result in a sudden change in visual perception. So this thing is always following you. It's always lurking. Oh, that is scary. Oh, no, thank you. So not only does this thing give you intense paranoia feelings, now you have the feeling that something's actually there. Upon being sighted, SCP-513-1 reportedly turns away and runs out of view before disappearing without a trace. Questioning by bystanders indicates that the secondary SCP is invisible to those who have not been exposed to the first SCP. Okay, what's this thing want though? It just wants to lurk? It just wants to watch you? Why? What's happening there? Why is it coming from a cowbell? Sightings of the secondary SCP reoccur every 14 to 237 minutes, so very regular intervals, it seems like. This stalking behavior inevitably causes extreme sleep deprivation, as victims are frequently disturbed by the secondary SCP's presence in their quarters. Oh, great. So this thing will just not leave you alone. It is the most intense stalker you could ever have. Okay, great. Victims able to fall asleep before its appearance report being physically assaulted by it while sleeping. Upon the victim's awakening, the secondary SCP flees as usual. So what does this thing want? It wants to just wait for you to close your eyes and harm you? This sleep deprivation, along with mental stress caused by the SCP's behavior, invariably induces paranoia, aggression, hypervigilance, and depression. Okay, and things just do not end well for people. It gets progressively worse. Their mental status deteriorates even further until their ultimate death. Okay, Mom. This one's too spooky. This one's dark. This one's dark. Description of the SCP's appearance are largely unreliable. Test subjects are unable to provide a complete account of sightings due to their severe exhaustion, degraded mental health, and disruptive hypervigilance. So I guess whenever they try to question these people, that they're just so scared and paranoid and tired and angry and just so flinchy that the thing's going to pop up again, that they don't really have time to think of anything else. They can't form sentences to express what they're experiencing. Oh my god, that is so terrifying. The idea of me not talking is a true terror for me. Probably not for you. Hopefully for you though. And that's why you're subscribed and you give this video a big thumbs up because you like it. Oh, but of course there are a few descriptions of what this secondary SCP looks like. And it is described as a tall, emaciated humanoid with abnormally large hands. Thinking of Slender, thinking of the Rake. I'm sorry, those two creepypastas are just so ingrained in my brain that whenever I hear another one that vaguely resembles it, that's all I think about. And the last SCP we're covering in today's video is SCP-610, and it belongs to Object Class Keter. And this thing looks like, what is that? A meatloaf slug? This one is called the Flesh That Hates. Looking back at that picture, that name makes a lot of sense. Initial reports of SCP-610 came direct from the Russian government through undisclosed channels. These reports consisted primarily of disappearances of farmers in the region and were not considered until the local police, followed by the regional police, and finally the government dispatched agents, and all failed to report within a 72-hour period. So whatever this thing is, it is eating these people up. It is incapacitating them on some level. Oh, can't wait to find out what that is. SCP-610 appears to be a contagious skin disease. Okay, so this is different. I've never heard of an SCP that presents itself as a disease. Interesting. At first with symptoms including a rash, itching, and increased skin sensitivity. So nothing really abnormal here. Within 3 hours, though, the disease will cause blemishes resembling heavy scar tissue to form in the chest and arm areas, spreading to the legs and back within an additional hour. So this thing is consuming its victims. Consuming the victim completely within 5 hours. Oh, so I guess if you contact this thing, GG's, it's over for you. Good game. Like there's nothing more you can do. Exposure to higher temperatures vastly decrease the time for the contagion to spread, and complete infections have been recorded occurring in as little as 5 minutes. Okay, so this thing could really take over the world. Again, though, thankfully, this is just a creepypasta. Normal human features start to disappear under the infection, and at the path of mutation appears to be largely random. So that meatloaf slug thing I said in the beginning, yeah, that I guess that was a person. Ugh. Subjects observed in this state of infection have been recorded as growing 3 or more limbs of a type such as arms or legs. The head may become misshapen and elongated or widen out. So it's the luck of the draw, I guess, of how these things really transform the human body into a meatloaf slug. Under unknown conditions, an infected individual will cease moving and place itself in a location it deems suitable where it roots itself. Okay, so like a fleshy tree. The fleshy growth on the victim will then begin to spread itself across the surrounding objects and consume them too. So this thing consumes anything it touches, not just humans. So the whole world of meatloaf slugs. Observation of life infected by SCP-610 by staff is impossible. Those infected with the disease immediately seek out aid as natural human impulse, resulting in unintended infections. Those infected past the scar tissue phase actively and aggressively attempt to infect anyone. Oh, okay. So this thing wants to spread at all costs, like a parasite would, right, with its host. If the infected has lost the ability of sight to an intended victim, a range of approximately 30 meters is considered safe. Not safe enough for me, you know what I'm saying? This thing will try at all costs to spread it to any other living things that would be a good host. But by using robots, it appears that as long as the SCP is not around anything it can spread its disease to, it appears to be a neutral threat. Real comforting on that one. Okay, well this one just is making my stomach a little queasy. You know what I'm saying? Like, ugh, nah. That is quite disgusting. But that does it for today's video. I hope you guys liked the SCPs we covered today. And if you did, please give this video a big thumbs up so I know you liked it and want to see more SCP creatures in the future. If you like that idea, please let me know down in the comments below which ones we should cover next, or any other video idea, to be honest. And until next time, keep up the radness, and let's just be happy that creepypastas aren't real. Bye! But like seriously, I'm so happy that these aren't real.